welcome to this week's episode of Esports Wrap. I'm your host, Michael Amogan. And with us this week, we have our co-host, Dwan. She's not on webcam, but she's still here in audio. J. Bruce, so much dead air. Where is the music? I am working on that so that that's there for when we're intro. I'm going to have that there for Tech Talk. Well, more tech. Wow. Okay. More tech on Thursday, and then for Esports Wrap going forward as well. Which graphic is adorable? Like, I've got a few graphics on like my stream. You've got to tell me like which one's adorable.
All of them.
I think so too, Dwan. I think so too. Like, I like all my graphics. Maybe I'm biased. Why would... Well, wait. You have me confused now, J. Bruce. Like, you thought it was because I hated you. I hate you. No, I love you. But you're still not telling me what's adorable, man. You gotta tell me. But this week we have two main topics. And the first one is going to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Because, you know, Origins is out right now. Oh, which one was just on the screen? So he's talking about the one with like people sitting down and whatnot. That's the one he finds adorable. Thank you.
Yeah, that one was cute.
We're gonna be getting some slight changes to that in a little bit, but yeah, that graphic is gonna be there for a while. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This one's gonna be set to come out on October 7th. That is correct, right, Dwan? Dwan, you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it should be coming out on October 7th.
Yeah.
And it's set in ancient Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Spartan type scenario kind of thing going on. From what they've shown so far, it's going to be about, well, back then, the mythology, the actual things that's happened. I miss you too, J. Bruce.
The intimacy in this chat right now.
I know, right? Like, I love it. I love it. But at the same point, it's going to be a little different. Because they're going to be changing up a few things. The first one is that we're going to, instead of Origins, like where you have one main character, apparently there's going to be two main characters that are in Odyssey. There's going to be one called Alexios and one called Cassandra. So you can choose either male or female, I believe.
Yeah. And
you're apparently how should I put this? You take on the role of that character. Say this is Ubisoft yells in a Spartan manner. You take on a role of either one of these characters, and they're a Spartan mercenary that's sentenced to death by their family, and essentially, as a kid, you get dropped off a cliff. You don't get kicked, you get dropped. Like, this is almost like Lion King Ascension gone wrong.
Right? They probably yelled while throwing him off.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
apparently, you're also going to be facing various dangers in the game, like legendary animals and mythical creatures. So you can probably, like the Nemean lion, the Lycaon wolf, Killer Steel the bear. I can tell you like distracting me, J. Bruce. I can tell. This is our relationship. Like this is what we do to one another on our streams. And apparently you're also going to be fighting against mercenaries and something called the Cult of Cosmos, which kind of feels similar to the whole Cosmo astrological thing that they had going on in Origins, at least to me. I don't know how you feel about that, Dwan.
I honestly thought they kind of like dropped the whole astrology thing after the Desmond arc. So I'm not sure where they're going with this, but that could be connected.
You know, that's actually a good point. They might actually be continuing with that.
Yeah.
Essentially, these people are going to be like some shadowy cult kind of thing. This is actually, I'm sorry, by the way, for interrupting myself. But yes, Jay Bruce, this is actually being recorded for the podcast. So, yeah. Thank you for that. But, yeah, this Cult of Cosmos is going to be pretty much giving out these powerful artifacts and trying to influence the culture and stuff like that and power levels throughout ancient Greece and the leaders.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they're like the Illuminati.
Essentially, yeah. That's kind of, it's like the ancient Illuminati. Wow. Okay.
Way to play in the propaganda, Ubisoft.
I know, right?
Yeah. My.
And then if you break the law at any point, you're gonna have mercenaries coming in after you, and it's not like you can kill them all off and then be like, "Hey, well, I killed off all the mercs. I can rule the game now." No, they're gonna keep coming. They're gonna spawn more, and apparently there's gonna be some like progression system because they actually drop like really powerful armor and stuff like that. And so you can... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was going to actually like the updated AI because it's gonna be like you have a kind of like Grand Theft Auto where they're like real wanted and they will be like seeking, like it's not gonna be like the previous games, they will be seeking after you. So the APs are cute.
And it's not like you... I love the Grand Theft Auto reference, but unlike Grand Theft Auto, if you cross the bridge, they're still coming after you. Like,
yep.
They will go after you on land, they will go after you on sea, they will go... If you can somehow get in the air, they'll probably find you there too.
Yep. I love it.
They can also sometimes come with predatory pets. So it's not just them, you may also have to fight their animals too, which should be interesting. And since we did talk about legendary creatures and legendary and mythological creatures, apparently they're also going to be having an area that provides a look at Medusa along with her temples. It's like, and they're kind of taking her back from her now perceived self and going back to like when she was an original Gorgon sister, like one of the three sisters. And so it's going to be really interesting, like how they produce these things. And one of the game developers actually said, you know, we're going to be putting things the way how they originally were. So instead of like versions of things where they try to change them, make them seem nicer, this, that, and the next, then, you know, it's going to be the original storylines essentially, which is awesome in my personal opinion.
So they're playing homage to the actual mythos then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
And Jay Bruce, you're still not going to be able to ruin me because my stream is awesome. And I don't care if I do this to you on your stream because you know that this is going to happen regardless. And really, if I can dodge a wrench, then I can dodge a ball. You're going to go with that reference from that movie. Wow. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. They're changing up how you battle as well. Now, much like what they did with Origins, they're taking away a lot of the way how you did with the sneaking. And so if you try to sneak, it's not going to give a dedicated kill. you have a higher chance of being able to kill them, but they may still be alive afterwards, which I think is still kind of weird. Like, I get a certain satisfaction from sneaking up on you, slitting your throat, and you not running away.
Yeah, I mean, the it's not really realistic, but I get that they're trying to make the game more advanced, a bit more tougher compared to like previous installments. But at the same time, like if I stab you in your heart, like I stab you in your heart, like you should be dead. So
Exactly.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about that, but I do like that. They look like they have like different, for lack of a better word, like classes. So like for more aggressive players, they have like a tree for that, and then for the more stealthier players, they have a tree for that. So I do like that aspect because I don't think Origins did a really good job with that. Me personally speaking,
No, you're right. You're right. They didn't. It was more like you.
like a match between the two of them, and it's just like
Exactly.
a lot of things they had on that the tree it was not necessary. Like once you reach a certain part of the game, it's just like this is redundant. Like I'm never going to use this, so you end up never filling out the whole tree.
Like,
Unlike in God of War, where like you could fill out your whole tree and use like absolutely everything on it.
but no, you're right. Like even when I was playing Origins, I I don't need my corpses to be poisoning things. Like
Yeah,
that's a way to draw suspicion to yourself as well, because then they get attacked when they come close, and then they call out for help.
yeah. It's just I don't think like a lot of things in that game was in the previous game was well thought out. But to be really honest, I'm a bit wary about Odyssey specifically because of the previous installments. Like it just they're trying. I can see why they're trying, but for some reason, for me, they're falling short. Like especially with their character development. I thought they were taking like at least 2 years to develop a new game. I was quite surprised when I heard that the release date was going to be this year.
I
I thought they had stopped that.
I actually agree with you. By the way, just to answer Jay Bruce's question, he's asking, is this one going to have a lot of syndicate functionality? And I'm not actually sure if the syndicate's going to be a big part of this or not.
I do not. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like, and especially since they haven't really mentioned the syndicate at all. So, if hold on, wait, is
And
this one
then and then
predating Origins?
yeah, I just want to say you have to remember like this is before Origins. Because remember in Origins it was like the aftermath of Greece taking over Egypt and all that stuff. So this actually predates. So in the timeline, this would be the absolute first instance of the Origin against ever being mentioned, which is kind of weird to me. Like I don't know why Ubisoft doing.
I don't know. And to go back to your previous point, like if I remember correctly, they were saying that they were going to be building upon the story and Origins going forward. So it was more like they were going
Right.
to be adding more content to it, and then they come out with this, and it's like, what happened? Like, what?
Like you can't even address content in Odyssey without first addressing what happened in Origins, because Origins was supposed to be like the story where we saw everything unfold, we saw the order come into being, and it's just like I am still waiting on that. I saw two people basically going through a divorce, exacting vengeance at the end of the game. Like I didn't see like a concrete origin story. Like I just saw what had happened to the protagonist, and that was it. So
Yeah,
it was kind of like it was a very, very, very lackluster, and I don't understand how going backwards, further backwards, is gonna correct that.
I'm not sure either. J Bruce is saying that he's talking about how Assassin Syndicate works, like the trade-off for different missions with the two characters. Um,
Oh no, no. When if you decide to go with Cassandra, you are Cassandra for the duration of the game. There is no switching between characters. So it's more kind of like art, like open worldish. Like they're trying to make it more open world. Because when I was reading up on it, they referenced The Witcher and Fallout. and I think Elder Scrolls. So they're trying to make it like a bit more open world and a bit more choice driven. And so you can't have choice driven story switching between two people. So when you select one character, you're with that one character until the end of the story. So there's no Andor with this one, unfortunately.
I think actually no. I think that's actually a pretty good idea for their part, to be quite honest, because it's like you choose your gender in the game, which I think is awesome for an idea. Um, Instead of it just being like a male protagonist, because quite honestly, we don't have enough female protagonists inside these games anyway.
I agree.
So the fact that we can choose the gender inside this one, I think, is again awesome. It follows, I think, roughly the same storyline. You just swap your genders. Or if I wait, is it the same storyline or does it change slightly when you choose a different character?
I think it's the same storyline, but what happens is because they give you choices that actually affect the gameplay now. That's like the difference there. So it's not really. I don't think like there's a big change in storyline. It's basically it's based on what you choose. Like you could choose to have a mean response to someone, and that could totally turn them off from assisting you with your mission, or the latter. Like they have some missions, like you could actually decline taking some missions and whatnot. So it's like they're really trying to make it as free roll as possible. And I actually like that direction, because that's probably the natural progression of this franchise given its history, because I can't see this going back to how it was. Like, even though I personally love the Ezio trilogy, I can't see that going back to that at this point.
I agree, and I think this is what a lot of games were trying to go for, even when it comes to like world-changing events like in MMOs. I think that's what a lot of games, even like I think really starting with Rift, because they were trying to be like, oh well, these events, like if you don't save the place, then it's going to stay corrupted until you guys save it, and that's kind of thing. And so like, and then things have progressed until very much similarly to what Odyssey's doing. Like, if you talk badly about this character or you don't do this for this character, then it's going to affect the people that they know, because they're going to go and talk about you, and essentially like that. So
Yep.
I like this kind of trend, and just like Jay Bruce is saying, it gives a good sense of replayability, which, you know, your choices can vastly affect it. At least I hope. Like, I hope that it has like different end games, essentially. Like the character that you did not help in the beginning ends up being like this close family member to like this boss, essentially, and that will come out after you because you didn't help them. And like, so you ended up not saving their family member, and they directly say like, you didn't help, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But I mean, yeah, it gives you more content, like after game content, but I don't think the franchise has ever wanted to lock in that regard. If you know what I mean, like after you turn over, you know, tons of things like you could always do. It was just repetitive. That's what it was. So it wasn't that they didn't have like a lot of content after you finished the game. It was just you know, you were tired of doing the same thing over and over and over, which is why with Origins they tried like different, like you could literally play Origins and get lost, so sidetracked from the main quest. That's one of the things that I actually loved about Origin, because it, like their quest, like it was seamless for side quests. Like you could just be doing side quests all day, and it felt like a main mission because the transition between it was so smooth. You know what I mean? So I don't think that that they don't have, you know, the content there. It's just that, like I said, it was boring. So you just toss the game away. It was like, oh, you know, I finished the game. You know, I couldn't get all the trophies, but that's boring. So you just toss it to the side.
Well, I do have to correct myself. I originally said October 7th. I'm reading again now that it's October 5th. That's a mistake on my part. Apparently there will be several different editions that come out, and if you pre-order the game, you'll gain early access to the mission The Blind King. I'm not sure what all that comes with, but if you pre-order at GameStop, so if you're in the States or some special place like in Europe that has a GameStop, then you'll also receive a bonus Spartan helmet keychain, which wasn't that the one that kind of got leaked earlier on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for Ubisoft for that leak. Like, they really were trying really hard.
They were. They really were.
And the internet was not having it. Well, one thing I did want to comment on was the what I wish that they updated in this new game was their animation. Like, the scenery is beautiful, the graphics are beautiful, but it's just something about the body language of the characters. Like, they're starting to get it with the face. But it's like, when you have games like The Last of Us, God of War, that you, what you call when they stick the things on people's face with the suit? And they use like real actors and stuff.
Oh, say that again?
You know, when they use like real actors to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like in this day and age, that I'm still wondering why companies like Ubisoft are heading in that direction in terms of their graphics and animation as well, because it's like they're trying really hard to make things lifelike, and it's just not cutting it for me. Like, it's very stoic, it's very rigid, like, and wonky, like body language and whatnot.
No, you're right. Like,
I didn't like.
That was something that I noticed from Origins as well. Like, I don't know if they need to update their graphics engine or the way how they do their modeling or whatnot. But you're right. Like, sometimes everything just seems so set in stone. Like, it's almost like moving stone when they're showing their face or something like that. Yeah, I'm hoping that what we're seeing now for the trailers is nice, but at the same point, like, I hope when the game comes, it's a little bit better. I kind of doubt it, but one can hope.
Yeah.
Oh, right, and I did mention inside this one they actually do have open world naval combat as well. So you...
Is that with 150 versus 150?
Yep.
I love it.
So they have on their website, quote, find uncharted locations, uncover hidden treasures, or cleave your way through entire fleets in naval battles. Customize the look of your ship, upgrade weaponry to suit your strengths, and recruit crew members with unique perks, tailoring naval combat to your style.
Hopefully the naval combat gets more love this year than it did in Assassin's Creed Origins, because I feel like they just use that as a way to like push Bayak's wife to like the side.
Wow.
It's like, oh, you know, well, we're gonna make it feel like she's playable, but she's really not. But to make you guys feel like you're gonna play her, we're gonna include her in all the naval teams, and it's not gonna be that much. So that's how I felt like they just kind of like tossed that on her to the side. Like, they included it because they know people would be excited about it because of Black Flag, and that was it.
I think it's gonna be similar to Black Flag, like, because the way how they're talking about it is that, you know, you're getting crew members, they're gonna be doing stuff on your ship, and they're actually going to be benefiting you by their perks. So you probably will have some people that will be blasting off cannons. Well, in Greece you didn't really have cannons.
Yeah. You had cannons, but like I said, like it wasn't really developed.
Yeah, so you'll probably be like shooting arrows and spears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then maybe boarding the enemy ship and fighting. I think that would be really dynamic.
That would be cool. You gotta make it back to the ship before the ship, like tanks. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. We'll have to see what happens with that.
They also mentioned that the map is the biggest yet which is really going to be impressive because Origin's map was huge.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very overwhelming.
I think they really want to push this open world concept with this game, to be quite honest. Because they said it's vastly larger.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. Like, I remember just the second area in the game. It took me like 5 minutes just to get from the entrance to that to the main city. And that's like
Wow.
that granted, that was me like looking at like mirages, thinking that there were people and like other stuff like that.
You mean in Origin? Yeah.
And then saving some guy who apparently died to something, I don't know. And then there's just a lot of stuff that's happening out there in the world. So that's even larger now. Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting lost out there.
I really hope that this is for open world, because so much stuff is overwhelming. You need something to tie it all together. So I'm really hoping that the story for this game is way more compelling than Origin. Origin's really made me mad with that. Like, I feel like I'm wasting my. I'm the kind of I like story-driven games. I love story-driven games, and that's what the Ezio trilogy was for me, which is why I love it so much. And I feel like they rushed. I don't even know if I could say rush, but for lack of a better word, they rushed Origins. I felt nothing for the characters. I felt nothing for the story. At a certain point, it was just like, okay, I need to get this over with. Why aren't we done yet? Wow. Are we done? Are we done yet? Like, that's how I felt playing the game. It felt like a chore after a while, like, just to reset.
You're actually right, now that I think about it.
Like, the music was like almost, the music was almost non-existent for number one. When it did play, it played at like the awkwardest scenes. And because they like just drop these characters right near lap, like when certain things happen, I'm not gonna spoil it for people who didn't play it yet. If you didn't play it yet, I don't know why. But like when certain things happen, like especially with Bayak, where you were supposed to like feel it and be like, oh my god! I was just like, okay, like are we done yet? Like can we move on?
Wow.
And it sounds really bad, but it's just like, I mean, like, pull me then dead, but like, can we get it on with it? And it should never be like that. Like, that's your protagonist. I'm supposed to be feuding for this person. Like, I'm not supposed to be like, okay, wrap this up now. We gotta go.
That's rough.
So, I really hope that I am like invested in this game, especially how you have like two different storylines. One of them at least should be good if they're different. One of them should at least be good.
I agree. I'm like you said, I have a feeling it's going to be the same storyline, but like they know they have to come a little bit better with this. Like I'm sure they know that.
Yeah.
And what better to go with than ancient Greece? Like that's where you get a lot of these, like even today's age, like these mythological stories, they kind of come from ancient Greece. Like, especially when it comes to like mythological creatures like Leviathan. Well, actually, Leviathan's more from like ancient, even before, like that's from Bible times, so I can't really go with that. But yeah, essentially you a lot of the stories come from that. But switching topics now. Destiny 2. They started off with this whole, well, they started off with the game and then like 2 expansions, which were kind of lackluster in my personal opinion. Though I mean things did start to get a little bit better with Warmind, at least for me. I don't know how you feel about that, Dwan.
Warmind was okay. Yeah. The other one, I felt because of the bosses, I felt more inclined to play the other expansion, but not necessarily Warmind.
Fair enough.
I like Dwan because it introduced like a new part of the map. But other than that, it's not it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, they're coming out with Forsaken. I think that one is October 7th.
No, I think I think it is September
September?
7th. Yeah, I think it's September 7th.
I know something's the 7th.
Because it's I remember it's close
September
to my birthday.
September 4. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's September. It's September. And pre-orders have already been on. But anyway, so they're coming out with that. But right now in the game, there's this Solstice event that's happening, which, in my personal opinion, is a bunch of malarkey.
Oh, I haven't heard someone use that word in so long.
I remember I'm trying to stay PG-13 with this, yeah. So I'm not going to use a certain forward like that.
Bad word.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But the Solstice event, the reason why I call it malarkey is because right now the highest level in the game is roughly power level 400, and this is a means for you to run certain activities, and like you continuously have to play for a while, and so you have to be dedicated to the game for at least a few days to pretty much get up to there if you want to try and catch up to the game and the highest levels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only problem with that is that right after Forsaken goes up, the cap of 400 is going to go up to 600, which means that the activities of Forsaken are going to more than likely give you the bonuses above 400s, which means that you're pretty much working for this for no reason other than to waste your time and just maybe play some games with your friends if you have any.
Oh, wow, deep. I am actually going to play devil's advocate today. Well, at least in this certain instance. I don't feel like it's a waste, like it's a bunch of malarkey, because if you really think about it, if they're trying to rein back in their consumers, the Solstice event is actually a very perfect, like it's perfect because number one, it provides the consumers with something new to do aside from War Mine and the other expansions. Two, by the time if they actually do participate in it, it makes a bridge between the 360 cap that they have. I think it's 360 or 400. It makes a bridge for people who stopped playing from last year to catch up in time for Forsaken, which is actually a pretty good idea, if you ask me.
Okay, so that would make sense.
Because most with the changes that is coming with Forsaken, it only makes sense if you participate in the Solstice event, because a lot of things are going to be like, okay, for example, if I had a light level 270, it only would make sense for me to do the Solstice event to get a light level of 400, so that when they come up with a new playlist, I could participate in the adjusted light levels for the Forsaken event. Because some things you can't play without purchasing Forsaken. So it only makes sense for me to participate in that when it's free, so I can get my light level up. That way, I would be holding my fire team back when it's time for me to play with the new air quotation.
Hello?
So it's kind of like they're like, hey, you know, this is a little bridge. You can take it if you want, but you know, it kind of sort of doesn't help. But at the same time, if you do want the help, it's there. That's what it's for. That's how I look at it.
I mean, I get that, but at the same point, like the changes that are coming, like when it comes to power levels, they quite literally say rewards would only grant, like in the current year one, what they're calling it. Rewards would only grant a small difference in power level, even if you were overcoming a challenge while underleveled. With Forsaken, they're scaling it up to power level production of all content by the difficulty of that content. Meaning that if you manage to beat a raid while 40 power under the recommended level, you would be expected to gain more potent rewards. Not only that...
What are the chances of that happening though?
I mean, if you get carried.
True.
And not only that, they're saying that when players earn powerful rewards, those items should never scale down to where they do not give an increase in power. So that even if your power is 100 over activity's recommended level, it should still grant a level of at least 1 power level above your current average. So this means if you are starting at... Right, but only up to a certain point. Especially if you're not doing the raid. So if you're out and about in the world and stuff like that, and you do something that's worthwhile, then what sometimes happens is you be like level 350, for example, and then you get a item that's 344. Essentially, what you now be getting is an item that's 351. And so you're always consistently going up. So you're never really, at least to me, it feels like you're never really having to...
same spot.
Right. And so the idea of the Solstice event kind of even degrades further in my eyes.
Well, I guess if people get it like that, but most players are not going to look at it like that. They're going to be like, ooh, friendly, free stuff.
Which I think is the idea.
Yeah, they're just going to look at it. It's just something to distract them for the meantime. It's working. So, kudos to you, Bungie.
Now, mind you, there are stuff that they could do in the meanwhile. Like, they have the Sleeper Simulant Exotic Quest, which will trigger once you finish the Warmind campaign. You have the Polaris Lance Exotic Quest, which you'll get from Anna Bray. There's, of course, the Whisper of the Worm quest, which is being touted as one of the best guns in the game right now.
I love it. My baby.
And they say that, there's also the Solstice event that you could do in the meanwhile. So you have a number of things you could do even if you don't want to do the Solstice event, just to get prepared for it coming up. And you will still want to get into the game to do certain things before things drop. So especially since the way how weapons work and the power and the types for them will change. So what they're saying is between now and the preload that's on August 28th this month, that you use your year 1 mods to lock in the elemental damage type that you want for your year 1 weapons. They'll retain the damage type after the mod depreciation, and then on August 28th, the old mod slot will go away and you will no longer be able to insert into any mods into year 1 gear or change the elemental damage type. Some weapons will be moving into the kinetic slot as well, so you won't be able to add that period. The Akelos sniper rifle and shotgun will be locked to solar. And the legendary weapons that will be moving to kinetic are the Balagant, the Shepherd's Watch, the Hawthorne Fields Forged Shotgun, Alone as a God, Perfect Paradox, the Frigid Jackal, and Silicon Neuroma. So
I don't know how I feel about the mod locking, but yeah, it's not like you can do anything about it.
Pretty much, but I feel a little weird with that as well. The fact that they're locking it into that particular type is what gets me.
Might not defeat the whole purpose of the mod system.
Exactly.
And are they bringing in I don't know, are they bringing in enough new weapons? Are they bringing in new weapons except for the exotic? I don't think so.
They don't really touch on that.
So are you forcing us to stick with this one weapon for forever?
Maybe, but I mean,
I'm not.
I would assume they'd bring in new guns though. Like that, if they're gonna do this and depreciate stuff, it makes sense for them to add new guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I hope so.
Now, they do want to also try to change up the way how we perceive the game, though. Like, the investment team is giving us a sense. I have to put it like that. It's like they give these weird names to these teams. The investment team is and the next thing that really bugs me is they have like year 1, year 2, and then they go to season 4 like inside this description. So it's like, what are you doing? Hey, Vicky.
Bungie, fire whoever edits your post. Fire them.
Vicky's laughing on YouTube. They're pretty much saying that they want to bring back the days when you were impressed when you see someone at max level in the tower, or you experience the leveling, and then the powering up should be meaningful. Players should have a sense of discovery when earning rewards from different activities. That when players accomplish something difficult, the reward should be special or unique. Now, I'm a little curious about that word unique, because that could either mean unique to that one player, like that you can only get a unique item, or unique to that world, meaning that only that one player has that weapon. So unique, it has a different meaning upon different games. So I'm interested in what they're going to do with that.
I'm worried about that word because I don't think Destiny understands the meaning of the word unique. Y'all just recreated the same game, repackaged it, and sold it back to us. I don't think they know what the word is. So that kind of worries me.
The Midnight, the Midnight V2. Oh Lord. And then they're saying, and this is another controversial one, not all sources of power in a week should be apparent on the director, meaning that you may not be able to find certain things that will give you a better gear item. You just will randomly come across it. What?
Is this a version of making PvE better? I don't know.
It can't be. What? Like, do we have to have dedicated blogs to say like what's new in the world this week or something?
I think so. We may have to do it.
That's weird. The next weird thing is that milestones will be changed up as well.
Actually, I like this change.
Explain.
Okay, so what's happening is that milestone is not gonna have like a little checklist. So it feels less like a chore, like what I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. You don't have a checklist anymore. So what happens is that they changed it on the UI. They updated the UI so that heroic strikes are gonna be removed. The playlist is gonna be implemented, and it's like sorted by power level. So you have like 500 levels, 400 levels, I think a 300 level. The downside, however, is that you can only play certain power levels when you have Forsaken. So basically, they move the milestones onto the map, onto the destination. So it's basically on the map now. So instead of having to click, I think it was R2 to look at all the, like the different flashpoints and the nightfalls and stuff like that. Like it's actually on. You don't have to like press a whole button for it to pop all of it out. And it's also, I guess, more comprised. What comprised isn't the word I want to use. It's more compact. So if you go to that planet, I guess, or if you go to the icon, like it'll show you like what you can do. Like it'll pop it up instead of you having like the front, like for your rogue strikes and the nightfall, it had like its own like little icon on the top, and you have to go into that. So you just hover over it and it'll show you like what to do and stuff like that. So I think that was a nice little update. I'm here for user-friendly UIs. So that's I actually like that one.
Now,
not sure how I feel about the playlist and taking out the heroic strike and taking out the nightfall and stuff like that. But I do like where the direction they're taking the actual UI, not what's being implemented.
Yeah, and I mean, from what I understand, like what's happening with that power level is if you are 40 power level over, let's say you're 240 well, sorry, 230. Sorry, wow, 340. Then you will no longer be able to join into the power 300 strike. Like you'll only be able to go higher, and so you'd have to try to get up to there. If that sounds like what is happening, they're trying to make a
But that makes
healthy
sense though.
matchmaking pool. It does.
Yeah, because like even okay for our listeners, I just started playing Destiny again like last month, and as soon as I came back, I was doing I think a York strike, a York strike or a Nightfall, and I got tossed into like I think I was like light level 320 or something like that, 322 or 323, and this guy I was tossed into this strike with a guy who was like 360, and he left me by
Wow.
myself. So,
Wow.
so me, the 323, got stuck fighting level 360 alien monster by myself. Like, why? That's me. Why would you? Why would you do this to me again? Why would you do this to me again? And they didn't do it once. They did it like over and over and over. Like, why are you doing this to me? So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. And it evens the playing field so that you have people who are actually on the same like level or at least in the same range, they can play together. So, and it should make the matchmaking more easier. So you won't have to be like in queue for like a minute waiting for somebody to join your fire team.
That's true. Now I know with the Nightfalls, they're gonna be making some interesting changes to that as well, in the sense that you can choose between one of three Nightfall strikes each week. And so if you're searching for a particular kind of weapon or unique reward from that Nightfall, then let's say it's something that I'm gonna go from what we currently have. Um oh wow. I don't remember his name. Fat guy. Begins with a C.
Callus?
Callus, yes. So if you're searching for a weapon that only comes from him, or a reward that only comes from him versus the other strikes, then you can actually key in to say, hey, I want to do this one, put me into this, which is I think is neat. So you don't always have to be waiting to try and get to another one.
Yeah.
Agreed. But I don't like that they're retiring meditations, because some of those stuff
Why?
You didn't know. Oh wow. Yeah, meditations are being retired and replaced with a heroic story playlist. Apparently. New campaign.
I mean, meditations are just like replacing the story anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why not?
They're saying that the new campaign missions will be featured at 500 power, while old campaign missions will be set to a power level relative to their release. This ensures legacy players can still enjoy activities at their leisure.
I don't mind, because, well, I don't mind. It just it makes it easier, I guess, for you to obtain engrams at your level instead of you having to like go and like trying to farm them. So it could provide like a better farming ground to obtain weapons and stuff that are like more your problem. So I don't mind it, and it's easier than having to do like a strike on Nightfall. If you just go and replay the story at the certain light level, and you already know how the story goes, so you already know the layout of the line and the enemies, and it should be easier for you to get so at the fight too. I don't mind. Ikora sucks anyway. They need to get more better.
Speaking of Ikora, her research reputation tokens will no longer be used as currency after August 28th, and they'll be removed from players' inventories. So if you have any, use them before the 28th.
Good riddance.
Wow. Ikora hate. Strong in this one.
Like, man, she disappointed me, man. The storyline disappointed me. I blame Bungie. That's their character, but they look like them. They're not trying to like redeem her. No time soon. So
no, they really don't. They did a little bit in Warmind, but like outside of that, then it's like nah.
Yeah, you mean Osiris?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah,
A little
Osiris.
bit. A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But after
I
that, she still went
don't.
back to being bad.
It is what it is. This is why hunters are superior. We have kids.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
No, nobody really cares for Zavala. Come on. Nobody cares for Zavala.
Wow. I mean, like, we Titans kind of have to, like, because he's like the.
Have. Keyword have.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Deep,
Wow. Wow.
deep
Wow.
down,
Wow.
you wanted to be a hunter. But yes.
No, I like Titan. I like being a Titan. I don't have a particular affinity to my leader, but I like being a Titan.
You sound just like the other warlocks I know. So, but everybody loves Cade. No hunter is saying, "Oh, we hate Cade."
Well, Cade is the comedic, like, relief for the entire game. And
What?
am I wrong? Cade does not make you laugh?
He brings me joy.
There you go. He's the comedic relief. Him and his ship.
Chicken.
Yes.
Chicken.
Yes, MSG. But I mean,
Did you get
sorry.
Speaking of class, sorry, did you get a chance to look into the new supers?
No, I didn't. What's happening? Because I know we're getting some new supers.
Well, I wasn't able to research it too much because there wasn't much out. But basically, they're changing around some of the supers, like with the Titan and the Sunbreaker. It has like more destructive raw force. They also have like a grenade. Well, it's similar to the Hunter's Arc super,
Okay.
in which you get this hammer. You can basically you're basically like Thor.
Mm-hmm.
You can just basically throw your hammer around. It's amazing.
Well,
Like
I mean, I kind of have that
I would mean
now, but
Titan. Yeah, so it's they have it, and then like when you throw it, you can pick it back up. So
oh, that is
yeah,
interesting. If right now we
and
just throw it and like we just get another one, we throw.
yeah, and they have like is it called Sentinel, where you like the walls that you guys throw up, but the Titan throws up. It's portable now, and you can shoot through it. Which I don't know why they didn't do that the first time.
That would have made a whole lot of sense, to be really
Yeah,
honest.
so you could actually shoot through the wall, and Titan is actually portable now, and I think it's wider as well. And then they also have like a sticky bomb that you can throw on your enemy, and the more you shoot it, the more it like disperses and sticks on other enemies and explodes.
I know we have
So
one
that's
that's
pretty
similar
cool.
to that, but it like the damage drops off after I think like the third one.
Yeah, and then I think they also have like a little change with the arc ability for the hunter, where you can block enemy projectiles and fire with your the staff,
Hmm.
like throwing the staff. And the I think it's the void super for the warlock, the thunder one. I can't remember what it's called, but you can actually stop it now. So let's just say you're on a fire team and you decide, Kamehameha. And 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 you look around and your fire team already took out all the enemies, you can actually stop it and save your what's it called? What's the little orbs? Yeah, the light orbs. You can
Yep.
save them. So instead of wasting the whole thing, you can turn it off now, and what you don't use will just store, like it'll just be stored. I thought that was pretty cool because like a lot of times, like in Destiny 1, where I was originally a warlock, which is why I can tell you my disappointment for Ikora runs deep, and so like when I originally played it, when I used it and I didn't need it anymore. I really turned it it's a waste. So there's nothing I can do. But I'm glad that they introduced that feature. I think that roughly that's like the kind of changes you're looking at. Oh, and they also had a change where I can't remember what class it was, but one of them they could throw a grenade, but it would heal your teammates.
What?
And would give them a protection buff as well. I can't remember which class it was, but I thought that was pretty cool. That was good.
A healer class. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That one's interesting.
Huh.
But
so, they're really trying. I ain't gonna lie.
They are, and a lot of people are hoping like Forsaken is the new Taken King, but will it be? A lot of people are hoping, especially with all this kind of stuff going into it, the new supers, the new weapons and gear, new enemies, new locations, the new end game content, the gambit. So, I mean, some of these changes they don't quite make a whole lot of sense, but some of them you're like, yes, this makes sense. So it kind of, in a sense, is like, for some, it almost feels like you're playing a little bit of a dance. You're going backward, then you're going forward, then you're going backward, then you're going forward again, then you're going forward, then another step backwards.
Yeah, I see that they're throwing a lot of hope in this streaming city that they're calling like the biggest in the world event that they've ever had. But like only time will tell. I'm kind of bugged that you're being charged for it. I know I may catch it, there's heat for that, but it kind of makes me wonder how much money they're actually making where they can't fund this through their in-game purchases. Like, why? I would rather just have a game just randomly release a drop and be like, hey guys, we did this for you. Thanks for all your in-game purchases. Like kind of like what Fortnite does. Like I'm pretty sure they make enough money where they don't have to charge you for anything extra. They just charge you for the seasonal pass and like if you want anything extra compared to cosmetics, then you have to pay for it. But like basically like all the updates and pertaining to the gameplay are free. So it's kind of making me wonder like how much money are you guys really making for in-game purchases where you still have to come back and charge us a whole $40. Yeah, so that kind of worries me. So other than that, it's to me it's just $40. I just spend $40 like in 2-3 days on food, so I'll buy it and check it out.
This is true. Well, welcome to the stream, Patrick James02. But
hello.
Yeah. There's some other stuff that's happening, like economy updates, like destination materials will become your main source of reputation for the respective destinations. They'll also be a part of the cost to infuse different weapons and armor across your arsenal. Like that part's a little weird for me.
Which part is that?
The destination materials. Like they both are reputation tokens almost, and you also need to use them to infuse different weapons and armor. By the way, Patrick James, we're talking about Destiny 2 at the moment, and the upcoming Forsaken content that's going to be happening. We also got the tokens and rare destination materials that are no longer awarded. You can kind of redeem them for reputation if you have them in the inventory, and anything that previously granted destination tokens or rare materials will be rewarded common destination materials moving forward. So, yeah. And then what's happening with the gunsmith materials, like things that require 40 for one reputation package will now be costing 100 gunsmith materials. What are you doing, Bungie?
What, Destiny? What are you doing?
What the
What are you
hell?
doing? How does
100?
that make any sense? That's too much. It's too much.
Like, we were having problems with getting mods already, especially the ones that we wanted. Like, especially the kinetic mod.
And now you do this. Why? And it's
why?
I don't even know if I should tell people to like, save up your tokens and just wait until the update and just splurge it now, because you don't even know if they're gonna do like a wipe of your tokens because of this. Because it's gonna be unfair that people like have so much tokens, and then the persons who are just coming in, they gotta start from scratch. So it's kind of like, do we wipe it? Do we let them keep the advantage over other players? So I don't know. What they're doing. It doesn't.
And then the next weird thing, they have it where factions are going on. Well, the faction rallies are going on hiatus. So they're saying it's going to give them a good opportunity to focus on some of the other areas of the game. And I mean, admittedly, some of the stuff wasn't all that great, but
yeah,
it was still something that you could do.
I'm not really bothered by losing the factions. My faction never won anyway.
Well, that's because you chose the bad one.
No, Dead Orbit. Worry by.
Dead Orbit won how often?
Dead Orbit had the best guns, though.
Yeah, but how often did they win?
Hands down, because people crazy. They go after I can't even remember what the other two are named, but they go after those because they look flashy and stuff, not realizing a Dead Orbit is where that those guns feel it. So.
There's also going to be some new changes to Eververse. There's going to be Eververse bounties, things like goals and philosophies, prismatic matrices, bright dust. They're saying that it's going to be gained from dismantling Eververse items at a granted fixed rate, which is kind of how it already is now.
Yeah.
Collections, which already happens. Some updates, so on and so forth. And then they say there's going to be some experimentations that happen throughout things as well. Like with crucibles. They say that, let's see if I can find that. All of you who played Lockdown and Labs, they got positive feedback. Whatever. But anyway, Labs is going to be having some extra stuff in there as well. So
you mean with the double valor week, the triple valor week, and all that?
So that's going to be a thing as well. So they say if you've been working on it, like your Solstice armor, you would have seen that they would have been using Crucible stuff. So leading up to the beginning of year 2, you'll see a few opportunities come up to earn Valor points at an accelerated rate, including a special triple Valor Iron Banner weekend, which the double one is going to be from August 10th to the 17th. The triple Valor one is from the 17th to the 21st, and the final double Valor week is going to be from the 24th to the 28th of this year. So that's roughly everything that's happening. I am again hoping that this doesn't end up being another just bland content, and especially with all the hype that they're making to try and make this into the next Taken King content, where that was the expansion that made the game.
They are even going as far as to implement some new exotic weapons. I'm really looking for all.
Yeah, so I mean,
but they look like they're specifically tailored for PvP. So we're seeing a lot works out as well, because they also said that they're trying to make the game more PvE. So why are they still pushing this PvP? I don't know. We'll see. Because at the moment, looking at it personally, I feel like it's just them taking everything and revamping it. Like they're just taking an old product and putting makeup on it. So
yeah, you're pretty much right. So it's going to be interesting to see what the end result is. If it's going to make it look better, or it's going to make it look like a clown. I think that's probably the best way you can probably put that.
Otherwise, RIP Destiny.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this is their third installment now. This is the one that you have to get right. Other than that, people are really gonna leave.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they get their act together.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's this week's episode. Is there anything that we missed out, Dwan?
Nah, I think that's just about everything.
Okay, cool. Anything you want to say before we head off?
No, just thank you for tuning in for another week.
And as for me, I'm your host, Michael Amargon again. And don't forget, we'll be back with more tech on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this show, Esports Wrap, will be back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed any part of this episode, do keep an eye out on our YouTube page where we will have information about, well, we'll upload this episode to there. Or you can listen to the podcast version of it once this episode is uploaded. You can also go to morecookies.com instead of either one of those to view the content there or see our past episodes. And of course, feel free to jump into our Discord chat, which we have some links. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Mixer, and once this is up on YouTube, then you can also see the information in the description there as well. And until next time, take care.